Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of With Disadvantage today. This is Solstice, episode 13.6. This is the one-on-one for Maggie's character, Illora. Welcome, Maggie.
Hello.
And also with us today we have, do you want to go by your real name or your handle?
Real name's fine.
Okay, we have Dan, and he's going to be playing an NPC in Maggie's campaign today. Or Mira's campaign, excuse me. My bad. God, I do that all the time. I will cut that out of the recording. Okay.
You might because you called her Maggie the first time, or
did I?
two. So
I thought I said
yeah.
Mira. Oh.
It doesn't matter, seriously.
Oh, okay. you always seem to make it a point to say Mirama, so I thought maybe you were trying to keep that a secret.
I didn't want to confuse everybody.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open... Oh, you're not connected to Fantasy Grounds.
Oh, shit. I totally forgot about that. I have everything else up ready.
And Dan, you as well, if you're able.
Yep.
Oh.
Got it pulling up now.
Okay.
I forgot. I got to get...
Oh, did you forget the update?
Didn't do the update, did you?
No, I totally forgot.
All right.
Go ahead and get it started, and we'll connect whenever you guys can. Until then, we'll just do Theater of the Mind the best we can.
I'm set up, joined by GM name, or...
So there should be a bottom part that's just where there's an IP address. Just put DND, just the letters, dnd.chevtech, CHEVTEK.io. That's it.
CHEVTEK?
Yep.
Cool.
And that should be it. Nope, you don't need to adjust the port or put in the GM name or anything like that.
Cool.
Yep, I see you now. It'll take a minute to pull down all the files. So I'm going to go ahead and... Do you recall the chamber you were in, Mirama?
It's been a while.
Okay. Let's see. I will... Oh, whoops. Apparently the Fantasy Grounds is frozen, so it went white. Okay, there we go. Alright, so in the... if it didn't pop up the character selection, Dan, there is a PCs button on the right. And you should see Brockton in there. Just click him. Or double click him. Oh, and then I got to release. Let's see. Perfect. Okay.
It won't let me check for updates without logging in. Sorry. Ugh.
That's weird. You should already be logged in.
Well, I've never used it on this computer before, I think.
Oh, then yes, you have to be logged. You'll have to log in to join my game in the first place anyway.
I don't remember how to log into this.
Uh-oh. When you installed FGU, you should have created an account at that point.
Right, I have that on my other computer.
Should you just use your other computer then?
That probably would be the best idea.
Okay.
Alright, give me just a second. I'm sorry for the delay. I will go get it.
It's okay. Alright. This one should be pretty fun. The one-on-ones have all been pretty good so far. Rainbows was interesting today. She's high already.
I believe so. The major difference being that it's not as often as of an occasion for her.
Alright, I'm back. I'm plugging my shit in, and I have 2 mice.
Okay.
Are you gonna feed one to a snake?
Yeah.
Or maybe to a cat, since you're more of a cat person?
Is that a euphemism?
So we're not doing a
It
ton.
could be.
We're not doing a ton in Fantasy Grounds. We could do Theater of the Mind too. So.
Do you want to just start off that way, and then whenever I'm
Yeah.
connected, that way we're not.
Are you able to focus?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I'm away from the way because it's moving around a lot. I'm good.
All right. So, let's just go ahead and recap where you are. You're in the chamber inside the Dominion. You and Sam and Sakir, I believe, made your way. Was Violet with you? I can't remember. I don't think so. No, she was not.
No, she went with
Audubon.
Marina. Oh, Audubon. Okay.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, yeah, so you walk into this chamber. You guys were drawn in there kind of by the light and the sound. And as you walk in, you notice everyone is here. Audubon and Violet quickly show up behind you guys. But you see everyone, including Dragthar, Naya, Marina, Kelgion. Pretty much everyone is here. So you... But the big thing that stands out to you is the giant, huge, like spirit of Piratesh towering over the computer console at the far end of the room, and it just looks just like the ancient computer you guys encountered before when you turned the water back on. And then behind this computer console is this very weird construct with ancient writing on it, and it's glowing blue, and there's like pieces of it hovering in the air, and this weird energy ball in the middle. And Piratesh she talks over the whole group and she just says, "Welcome. I'm glad you all have arrived." And you look around and you realize that everyone's kind of got these blank looks on their faces. You see like Audubon and Kelgion are like just like drooling, looking up at her, just like the lights are on, but nobody's home. And then Piratesh finally looks over in your direction and she says, "Illora, come forward."
So, is everybody kind of like lined up surrounding this console?
No, so Dragthar, Naya, and Marina have made their way closer to the console. It's across this huge chamber. Piratesh was there, but then she crossed into this middle area. There's like these big chunks of rock, and they're separated by huge, deep gashes. So you'd have to fall, like if you fell in one, you'd fall way down, like you'd fall to your death. And then there's these little shitty wooden bridges that are crossing them all, except for the one between you and Piratesh now. There used to be a bridge there. There's evidence of it, but there's not anymore. And so there's a 5-foot gap that you will have to leap over. And then Kelgion, Audubon, and Violet are on that middle section with where Piratesh is. And then you, actually Sam Blade is there too. And then you and Sakir and a couple of Audubon's little Dominion friends are still back on this starting platform of rock.
Okay.
She just says, "Illora, please come forward. I have a gift for you."
And do I notice anybody else reacting to her saying that?
So everyone else is still looking up at her drooling with like these blank looks on their faces, like their brains are not all there.
Okay. You said there's a gap to jump to where she is.
Yep, you'll need to make a acrobatics check.
Okay. So here's my issue: is that I don't know what the new password for the new internet is either on this laptop because I know. And I don't remember how to log into, because I never set up FGU on my computer. Steve did it for me, so I'm thinking maybe I should watch your live stream or something.
I guess. Well, no, because it's the GM screen.
No, okay. Are you okay with it just being total theater of the mind?
Yeah, that's fine.
Taking my rolls for since I know how to roll on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, that's fine. So go ahead and roll an acrobatics check on Beyond then.
I'm sorry. I thought I knew how to do this. I thought you could roll right from the sheet.
You can.
What am I doing wrong?
You should just be able to double click the field.
Oh, that's what I was doing wrong. Okay. Acrobatics was a 9.
Okay. All right, so you leap across your token. It hits the edge, and you fall prone as you land on the other side, but you do make it, and you're able to stand up and dust yourself off. And Piratesh says, "Well done. Come closer." And then, do you go up willingly, or do you resist?
Let's see. So how close am I now? I'm just on that same ledge, right?
Yeah, you're on the same ledge as her. You just barely made it across, so she's probably about 10 feet away, 15 feet. And she just says, "Come, Illora, I have a gift for you. It is the gift of memory."
I take one more look around just to see if anybody else has reacted.
Everyone else is still drooling.
Okay, then I step up to her, and I hold a hand out that she's going to hand me something.
Okay. Oh, and then I forgot to put this in the chat. Dan, there you go. If you click the dragon head, it will pop up on the map. Let me know when you have it open. There we go. Oh, I see it now. Okay. All right. Are you able to see the character tokens now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Let's see here. I've got to clear the combat tracker. There's stuff left over from Rainbow. Sorry. I have to clear a bunch of things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Get Sam out of there. Put Brock in there. And then Illora. Okay. There we go. Okay. You're on this ledge. And you approach Piratesh, and she's this huge towering hologram or spirit or something. And then she shrinks down to not your size, still much larger, but like towering over, like maybe double your height. So she's still pretty big, but now she's able to like hunker down and put her hand on your head. Do you resist this?
No, I don't. I don't resist.
Okay. She puts her hand on your head, and suddenly everything fades to black. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close that map now, and then I'm going to open up a new map. Oh, good. I already have a good one prepared. Let's see. Put the man up. Damn it. Hold on. I always screw this up. Oh, I had it too zoomed out. That was the problem. Okay. And I'll draw this little region here. It wraps around this way. Okay, and then there is an entrance right here. So there's no bucket paint tool or anything, so if you see a scribble, pretend it's me trying to fill in whatever shape with the color.
Okay.
It's the only thing I have on their feature tracker that I really wish they would add. Okay, and there's a cart here. And then let me get the square tool. One here, one here, one here. Okay, and then just a little green for these trees, and then I'll share this. Okay, and I'm going to kick you out, Illora, and we're going to bring in this new one. Okay, and I am going to give you a new sheet to roll on, okay? I'm going to link it to you. It should work. I think you should be able to roll the dice on it. Hold on, it's taking a second to open the messenger. There we go.
Is there any way you can link me on Discord instead?
I'm sure. Okay. That is linked.
Okay. Oh, Garen. Okay.
Yes. So you awake, and you're sitting at a wooden table, and you are sitting across from a human, and he's dressed in a bunch of armor, and he has a big axe kind of leaned up at his side, and he's eating and has a cup of coffee or something in front of him, something hot. You can see the steam coming off of it, and you too also have a cup of presumably coffee and a finished plate of food. And this plate is just like a little wooden plate, and you look down at your arms and you realize that you also have a bunch of armor on, and then of course PJ would call me right now. You also have a bunch of armor on. The person across from you is a white-skinned human, and you are just like Illora. You are also dark-skinned, and you don't really know where you are, but this dude doesn't seem to mind your presence. You look around and you see that you're right next to a few carts. The carts are occupied by somebody. Each person, there's like one occupant, and they're selling various goods. One cart appears to be selling weapons. Another one appears to be selling armor. Some other carts seem to be selling some food, and then you can't see any of the rest of them. And then next to these carts is this huge kind of dirt parking lot looking thing where a bunch of wagons are just sitting there, and there are horses hitched to posts. A few people are getting out of a wagon, humans, and they're walking up past you and this other guard that's next to you, and they're just walking up to these little marketplace shops, and like it's like they look like food trucks basically. They're like mobile carts, and they open up from the side to sell their wares, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And so they're walking through all of these and just kind of shopping, it seems like. Do you do anything?
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I still have full memory of being Illora in this situation, right?
Correct. Nothing has changed as far as your brain is concerned.
And if I look down at my arms, I am still dark skinned, but I have armor on. Is there anything, like, is it obvious that I am a different person now from what I can see?
The more you examine yourself, yes, the more obvious it becomes. For one, as you're sitting, you're clearly taller. You feel stronger. You feel very strong, and then you kind of touch your head and you realize you have no hair. Except you do have hair on your face a little bit.
As I'm kind of doing a quick, touch here and there, does my companion say anything?
So Brock, that would be you, and let's see, you're focused on your food, so I'm going to have you roll a perception check. So if you just double click your character in the top left, it'll pop open on your sheet, and then there's some tabs that run down the right side of the sheet, and one of them is skills.
Gotcha.
If you go there and you double click the modifier field, the total field, there you go.
That'll be 15.
Sweet. All right, so you notice, like, out of the corner of your eye while you're leaning down and eating a last bit of mashed potatoes that are on your plate, you notice that suddenly Garen is touching himself all over, like feeling his head, feeling his face, looking very concerned.
So Brock reaches out and to kind of place a hand on Garen's hand.
Okay.
Brother, are you okay?
Allora's initial reaction is to say brother, but she doesn't say it the whole way, not very loud. She's like, brother. And then she stops herself and she says, Where are we?
I think somebody did something to your food. We've been hired to protect Darren's manor.
Do I recognize anything around me?
No, nothing.
Nothing's familiar.
Well, so like you recognize like what things are, but nothing looks familiar. No, there's a tree line off this direction. Like northwest of you, there's a tree line kind of behind these carts. The marketplace carts have kind of lined themselves up against the edge of this property, where it turns into basically thick forest, a bunch of trees. And then off to the left, you hear some clinking sounds, like some work is going on off to the west there, but you can't see from where you are. You're in the front of a rather large, lavish-looking home or convention center of some kind or something.
Okay.
You're sitting at a table out front of it, just a little tiny coffee table with 2 chairs on it. You and this other dude are sitting at together. Kind of maybe looks like you're having a break or something for lunch.
Okay.
The sun is overhead.
Is there any? So it's just us two. There's no other like people that we're obviously with.
So there are a few humans coming out of the parking lot, which is next to this manor, and they are walking from their wagon basically to the shops, so kind of parallel to you. And there is another guard. Let me create a empty thing here for a human guard. And then I just need to get a token. I should have left those in the tracker. My bad. Let me find a good token here real fast. Come on, where's the one I used before? Fine, that works. Okay, and then we'll put there. Okay, there's a guard that's kind of standing at the edge of the parking lot here. And he is kind of just keeping an eye on the customers and watching the transactions and stuff. He's just kind of leaned up against a post, just watching everything. Seems like maybe he was assigned to do that, the way he's rather intent about it. Other than that, you don't really see anyone. There is one more guard that is... hold on, I forgot to adjust their health. There we go. There is one more guard that's pretty far away from you. He's over more by those carts where things are being sold. There's probably more guards that you can't see from where you are.
Mm-hmm. All right. So when he says when he answers me, I straighten myself up a little bit and I clear my throat and say, brother. Now I obviously sound like Garen, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay. So I just kind of clear my throat, brother. I have a dizzy spell. Could you tell me who am I again?
Well, you are Garen. You are my life mate of sorts.
Are you saying this loudly or quietly?
No, very very quietly.
Okay.
Like you are Garen, my life mate in this troop.
As he says it, kind of, Illora nods her head. Garen, yes, life mate troop. I think I must have had some bad food. I'm having trouble remembering. Let's return to our base, to our troop.
So this is weird to you, Brockton, because this is where you're supposed to be. You're
this
on break.
Yeah. So I'm gonna continue whispering. Fairly concerned, at this point. But brother, this is where we are stationed. It was lunchtime. We were having lunch, and then as soon as we finished, we were going to take up our post again.
Garen just nods to all this as if, Illora nods as if she's like, yes, I am starting to remember.
Okay. Roll a deception check.
Oh, so I roll that as Garen?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just to make it easier. Because, I mean,
Oh,
if we wanted to get real complicated, we could have left you with the wisdom and intelligence stats and stuff. You know.
I cannot roll for this one.
You can't roll on the read-only sheet, huh? All right. I'll just roll it for you then.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Let me, I need to put Garen on my hotbar so it's easier.
Hot bar.
Okay, deception. There we go. Ooh, that was almost a 20. It landed on 20 and then rolled to a 15. All right, so she seems pretty convincing, Brockton, although you're still a little bit concerned about him.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. I lost my map. Where'd my map go? Oh shit, where'd the map go?
I don't know. I've still got it.
Damn it. Hold on. I don't know how I ended up closing that. Okay. I got it back. All right. Okay. Do you say anything?
So Brockton's gonna stand up and offer, like, right forearm grab. To can you stand, brother? Not at a whisper, but not like super loud.
So Garen, Illora puts her hands on the table, and she's sort of just getting the feel for her own strength and things like that. She slowly pushes herself to stand up on her own from the table.
Roll me a dexterity check. I guess I gotta roll it. All right, I'm gonna roll you a dexterity check. Okay, all right. So you get a pretty good feel for the strength of your arms, and you put them out on the desk in front of you, and then you go to stand up.
Yes, I go to stand up.
Okay, all right. So you stand up, and you look around a little more, and you just see the same people. Although one more guard steps around the corner at the far end of the manor. You seem to be in front of this manor. There's a kind of a lavish porch setup going on where you could walk into the manor. And there are two guards there's one guard that's on the opposite end of this manor, and there's two little posts where normally two guards stand in front of the doors of the manor.
So I nod and smile to my friend. I say, "Huh, well, looks like that." She looks down at the plate and says, "Meat has gotten to me. Maybe we should return back to our station, back to our post."
That sounds capital. We should. And then Brock is gonna collect his axe from where it was leaning.
Okay, pick up your axe. You two also have an axe, Garen.
I watch him pick his up, and I look around frantically for mine.
Okay, and you find that it was leaned up against the chair or the table, but at some point it fell into the gravel, and so it's just kind of laying flat on the gravel next to your chair. This big axe.
I reach down to pick up the axe slowly to make sure that I'm still sure of my strength.
Okay, yeah. You at first you're surprised by how much effort it takes.
Oh, in fact, as I pick it up, I'm like, wow, like in just total wonder, like it's the newest thing ever.
Okay, and as you guys are standing up, and you're starting to walk towards your post, which Brockton is being in the front of the manor there, in front of those two doors, the doors come flying open, and this dude comes out with these like flaring nostrils and this like orange-red mustache and beard, and he looks around, looks to the left, looks to the right, and then he catches both of you in his vision, and he just says, "What are you two doing? There's supposed to be guards in front of this house at all times, in front of this door. Get back to your posts."
And Brock is gonna snap to a smart salute. Right away, sir.
So Laura's watching carefully. Whatever he is doing, she immediately tries her best to mimic.
Okay. All right, so you mimic a... Let's do a performance check on your salute there.
Okay, good. It's a +2 charisma.
Right. I keep forgetting that I have to do it. A 9. so you kind of stick your hand up against your face, and you're like pointing your fingers at your nose, and then you look over at Brock, and you realize that they're at more above his eyes, so you move it, and this Darren dude looks at you funny, and he just says, "Have you been drinking? You're on the clock."
I just put a finger up and say, it's just some bad meat. I'll be back to full service immediately, sir. And then she tries to do the salute again.
Let's see. Roll a deception. We gotta have you roll a deception here.
All right.
A 4. He's like, "What are you doing on the clock? Eating meat and potatoes? Sitting here doing nothing? This ain't supposed to be a cushy job. I'm paying both of you well."
So did Laura just... yes, bad meat.
Brock's gonna, like, kind of take Garen by the shoulder real fast and look up at Darren. I'm sorry, sir. Please, dock us one of our silver pieces. We just needed to eat.
I'll dock you more than that. And he goes back in and slams the door.
And then as soon as the door slams, I'm going to start walking with Garen, still arm around shoulder.
Okay.
Garen does not resist.
To our post.
All right, so you walk like basically the 10 feet over to where the door got slammed, and you know, Brock, that Garen's normal post is to the right of the door, and you're the left.
Okay.
If you're facing out from the door. If you're facing in front of the door, then Brock or Garen would be on the left. So Garen's the first stop, basically, from where you guys were sitting. So you put Garen there, I assume, then?
Yeah, I leave Garen, and then I make sure that he's facing the correct direction.
Okay.
And just kind of grab him by the shoulders and look deeply into his eyes. And
okay.
Are you going to be okay, brother?
So, Darren blushes, or at least Allura feels her face get warm. And she kind of she puts an arm around her stomach, like, "Oh, I'm not sure. I wonder if I should head back to my quarters."
That would be inadvisable right now. We are yet to be at our posts for, I assume I would know how long.
Yeah, you guys are assigned there until sundown.
Okay,
it's only noon. You got a long time.
Yeah, we're to be here till sundown. And you saw the rage that the owner of this place can fly into if his orders are not obeyed.
Allura looks up at the sun to see. I assume from the position of. Oh wait, no. Allura doesn't know what a sun is. God damn it.
Yeah, that's you're right. You know what? That's something I should have pointed out to you in the beginning. But yeah, you do know what a sun is. You just are not used to seeing it not dead center in the sky.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay.
And so the sun is actually slightly off kilter, off the center there. But also you can see. There's a moon off in the distance, and the sky is blue, and that's very different because normally you just see a bright star at the very apex from where you're standing, and then around that you can see the edges of a dome, and you see a sort of blue sky, but you also see a dome way up high that wraps even behind the sun. But now you don't see anything, just plain beautiful looking blue sky. Clear air, clouds. You've never seen clouds like that before. You get some clouds once in a while in Solstice, but you've never seen clouds like that before.
But I wouldn't have an understanding of the perception of time from the position of the sun.
No, you would not.
Okay.
Yeah, your perception of time depends entirely on other people and watches and clocks.
So I take the gaze up, like someone who's trying to think of something, gazes up at the sky for a second. And I take note of that, but then I straighten myself up, I put my arms at my side, and I nod to Brock, and I say, I will maintain.
I know I can count on you, brother. And then I'll drop my grasp on Garen's shoulders and assume my own post.
Okay. And just as you take your post, you guys both kind of quietly look forward and are keeping an eye on all the people coming to this little marketplace and the other guards. And you suddenly hear from behind the door a loud crashing sound.
So I'll turn towards the door.
Okay. The door is a big, solid, double-wide door that's made out of very heavy wood.
Okay. Also, how do the guards nearest us, the other guards, react to that sound?
They don't hear it
at all.
They don't hear it. Yeah, you're just standing right next to the door, so you hear just like a crash inside. But it's from outside through the thick door. It's faint.
Well, I react to the noise of the crash, and then I look to see if he's reacted as well.
Okay.
Sorry. Go ahead. So what I know what our orders... I assume I would know what our orders are with regards to whether the outside guards should ever enter that door.
No, he's not one to explain things in great detail. He just kind of yells at you guys. He's hired your troop, basically from the state to be here to guard his manor, and they normally don't do stuff like that, but this dude's filthy rich, and he basically funds the military in this region. And so he's kind of like this, kind of lords that over you guys, and he's asked for you guys to take care of guarding this place. And he's never told you, he's basically said stay out, but that your job is out here, but he's never said don't go in, ever or anything like that.
Okay. Well, so regardless, the door's closed and very solid, so I'm going to turn back towards the noise and, grip the handle of my axe maybe a little tighter.
Okay.
But not really an outward reaction apart from that.
Okay. All right. So you see, you guys decide to stand there and ignore. I assume, Garen, you're also just going to ignore the sound then, given that Brock is.
So I turn towards the sound, and then I look to see if he heard it. And then when I notice that he just sort of stands there, I grip my weapon and just keep watching him out the corner of my eye, but also focus towards where the noise I would think the noise came from. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Okay. And then you see that you look out and you see one guard in the parking lot, and he kind of saunters away from his post as there's nobody coming in and out of the parking lot right now. And the marketplace is kind of cleared out a little bit. Several people have left. They've got their horses and gone down the trail away from this place. And so he kind of saunters off and comes and grabs this guy, and they go around the corner. And then you don't see anybody else for a while. All you can see from where you are like the two shopkeepers in the most nearest two shops, and one guard way across the way on the other side of one of these shops.
Okay.
Okay. Do you guys just stand there? How long would you stand? Are you going to do anything if a certain amount of time passes, or you just keep doing your job?
Go ahead.
I would say I watch him for a few seconds, but since I'm also focused on the door and I'm nervous, after about 5 or 6 seconds, I say, "Brother, should we go in?"
I don't think that there would be one daring enough to attack from the inside. Unless Jaren screams for help, I would say no.
And just as you say that, suddenly you do hear yelling inside.
Or Darren, sorry, not Jaren.
That's all good. You can't make it out, but you hear just yelling inside.
raises her axe a little bit more and says, "It sounds like he needs help."
Then, I suppose we should at least investigate. And then I'll keep my axe in one hand if possible. Obviously, can't swing it like that, but and then kind of open the door and peek in.
Okay, it's a big, heavy door. It has a big handle that you have to grip to pull it open. And it kind of takes quite a bit of strength to pull it open from the outside, but once it pops free from the frame, it's then pretty light as it swings on the hinge. And so it just opens up, and you hear yelling inside, "You stupid tabaxi! I'll send you out there with the others!" And then you kind of hear this meek little voice, I'm sorry, sir. It won't happen again. I'll take care of it." And you just say, "You better, or I'll send you out there. I keep you here because you're my favorite, but that can easily change." And you hear a door slam.
So was I able to see anything, or was that just what I was
it was coming from the second floor. So the door opens up into this very lavish foyer. Like, it's got this There's a huge chandelier hanging from the ceiling. It's got made of some kind of like crystal or whatever, and it's very meticulously lit oil. It's like an oil chandelier with a bunch of little lanterns all over this ornate chandelier. Basically, like you'd have to get up there and very carefully put oil in every single little sconce thing, and you'd have to light every single one individually. So clearly, he has somebody doing this. And then all around the walls and stuff, there are more sconces, more oil lanterns that are just lit everywhere. It's very ornate. Everything seems to be lined with gold. There are little trinkets and knickknacks all over the place on the walls, on little shelves, there's little what's the word I'm looking for? There's like a hutch that's full of glass and a bunch of like really fine dining stuff that maybe never even gets used since it's just on display. Everything has gold trim. But yeah, you hear this voice echoing through the foyer from upstairs as Darren's clearly arguing with some tabaxi or something.
So I'm gonna I won't enter the door, but I'll just call through the door.
Okay.
My lord, my lord, is everything all right?
And then you don't hear anything for a minute, and then you hear a door open, like as it slams open, and he just says, "Who's here?"
It's sorry, I forgot my own damn name for a second.
It's Brockton.
Brockton, okay. It's Brockton, the door guard, sir. I was just very.
Why are you inside? And you hear stomping, and then suddenly he appears into view on the second level. There's a balcony overlooking the foyer, and he comes down this winding, like curved staircase that comes down into the foyer, and he just says, "You two are on thin ice." He says, "You're my favorite guards. That's why I keep you here. You work good as a pair, but you could easily be replaced."
Garen gives him a salute now, hopefully properly, now that, she saw what happened.
Yeah, I won't make you roll for it this time. You know how to do it now.
And she says, "Yes, sir. We wanted to make sure that our, God, what would the name she would say? Is probably something like, our patron? Yeah. Make sure our patron is well protected. But we'll immediately be returning to post."
Well, I appreciate that, but it was just a stupid tabaxi servant who can't seem to do one thing right. He only has one job. If you see this poor sap coming out that door, you kill him. Right there.
And Brock will snap to a salute. "Yes, sir," and then about face.
Okay.
Military precision to the door.
And Illora immediately mimics him and follows.
Okay, do you guys close the door?
Yes.
Okay. You hear him stomping back up the stairs inside. And then suddenly outside, you hear like the two guards around the corner like muttering, like, "Did you hear that? Can't believe they stood up to Darren like that." Oh, a bunch of idiots, if you ask me. They're going to get... You know, they're just like whispering, but they're not being very quiet about it. So you're able to hear them pretty well, Brock, from out your left ear as you're staring straight forward.
Fantastic.
You guys are looking out into this parking lot area, and suddenly one guard appears out from behind a wagon. A guard that you hadn't seen before, and he kind of stumbles around. And he looks like he doesn't really know quite what he's doing. And he seems like he's kind of peeking around, watching, looking at and seeing who's all there. And this strikes you both as very odd. And he kind of wanders over this way, if you're looking at the map, Dan.
Okay. Hang on. There we go. There's my zoom.
Okay, so
Cool.
he wanders off this way from the parking lot, kind of looks very nervous, looking around. You don't recognize him, but it's hard to tell who's who with all this armor on. And he disappears over on this other side, and you suddenly hear a commotion over there. You hear some talking and arguing or something. And then suddenly, after a minute, this guy comes rounding the corner with these other two guys. And they all go over to this table to take a break, I guess. They're all sitting at the table, and they're all talking. They're like, "Oh, I can't believe he relieved us early. That's quite a change." And they just start. They walk around the side here, and they get some food and stuff, and they come back, and they're just eating and drinking at the table.
Okay.
Do you interact with them at all, or you just observe?
No, I'm gonna keep just staring straight ahead, pretty much. They seem to be, are they part of my troop, or are they, how well do I know these people at all?
Yeah, so you know them all pretty well. Yeah, they're part of your troop. You can't tell who's who from where you're sitting. If you went over there and sat there, you could see their faces more easily, and then you could tell who they are, but they clearly know each other. You recognize probably who at least one of them is, and who the other, you can guess probably who they are. You know, all three of them are, out of the 5 guards or whatever.
Okay.
But the one dude that came walking by, you realize is either not there, or if he is there, then suddenly he's not acting weird anymore.
Okay. Can I try to get a better? Well, the one guard that. Oh, you said that he might not be here. Shit. Okay. Sorry.
Well,
yeah,
you can't tell if he's there, and you didn't get a good enough look at him. So even getting a good look at their faces, you wouldn't be able to tell if he was among them. But he was walking around really suspicious, like eyeing everything, and then suddenly these 3 guys came around the corner all chummy. So either he's not with them, or he changed his demeanor.
Gotcha.
Would I be able to tell, assuming from similar uniforms, maybe, that they are part of our troop?
Yeah, they're dressed exactly like you two.
So I'm gonna call over to him. Hey, who relieved you early?
Oh, the new fella over there says that Darren relieved us early, and the one guy goes, "Yeah, isn't that great? Clearly, you guys have a break early, so he must be feeling generous today." And he takes a big gulp of whatever it is he's drinking.
Okay.
And then oh, go ahead.
Oh, and you lot believed him.
Why wouldn't we believe him?
Darren ever given us a break?
No.
We have to take them for free and try to hide it, you know.
Well, we'll just blame the new guy. He's the one who told us we were relieved, and that he was going to take over for a minute.
Well, on your heads be it.
The Tabaxi will do what they're told anyway. They're pretty under our thumb.
And I'm not going to respond to that, but you can kind of see my demeanor sour.
Okay. All right. Do you do anything else in the meantime?
No, apart from, my my axe shifts from hand to hand or something. You know, maybe a
Okay, Garen, do you
general.
do anything else, or are you just following lockstep with Brockton?
So after, I would assume, we're passing like minutes at a time, like 5-10 minutes here, kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, however long you say, because if you say, oh, I would wait this long before I did something, or I would just stand here for my whole shift, like, you just tell me what you think you'd do if time was passing X amount of time.
So Illora really wants to get to see the dude's, like, sleeping chambers or whatever, where he keeps his personal items, to learn, because she's figured out that, okay, I've somehow been warped or time traveled or something into another person's body, and she's remembering that the phrase "give you a memory."
Okay.
So what she's trying to do is find out who this guy is, and if it's something that she can do to change it back. But she's also really, really curious and is trying to find out as much information as she can.
Okay. All right, so do you leave your post to try to find this out at any point, or?
So I think what Allura is going to want to do is maybe after, I guess what she would assume is like 30 minutes, she, after just kind of standing there and observing everything that's around her for 30 minutes, she turns to Brockton?
Yes, you call
Brockton,
him
yeah.
Brock or Brockton, yeah.
Okay, so turns to Brockton and says, how long should we stay here?
Well, it's our job to stay here until sundown. Why?
Oh, I just, I figured those guys got off early. Maybe we missed the memo, right?
We have challenged Darren twice today. I do not feel it wise to do a third.
Allura nods. Yeah.
As you finish that conversation, you see this guard run out, and he just says, "Come quickly! All the Tabaxi have escaped into the mines." And then he runs back this way.
Okay. Are the three still at the table there?
Yes.
Regardless of how drunk are they?
One of them is getting pretty drunk, but the other two immediately stand up alert, and they start to run this way. And they're like, What's going on? New guys dropping the ball. And then this guy kind of gets up, and he's like, and he like burps, and he's like, I'm coming. And he waddles this way.
Before they run past me, I'm gonna hold an arm out and even with my axe in hand.
Okay.
Hold it across their path.
Okay.
Stop. You take the door. We've got this. And grab.
Okay. All right. He's like,
grab Garen.
Oh, okay. And then this dude takes the door, and then the drunk guy follows you guys.
Okay. That's, I presume, a little slower than us if he's drunk, or is he actually good at running drunk?
He seems like he's keeping up pace, surprisingly. Okay, and then you guys run up, and then this guard over here by the carts, he goes immediately running down this way. And as you round the corner, you watch as this one Tabaxi that's left in view, and Brock, you would know, like, there's usually at least like 3 Tabaxi on like this little chain gang that are like hauling things, handing things from one to the other out of the cart and then over to this. So there's usually like mine cart right here, and then hauling it over to this wagon to fill it up, to like export it basically. And all you see now is one Tabaxi on the other side of the cart, and he goes running into the cavern and disappears. And this human guard immediately goes in after him. Come along, troop! Let's get him!
Okay. Do I... Let's see. I can look. Is that in my inventory? I assume I have... Yeah, torch. Cool. So I'm gonna... Is there a source of fire close that I can see? Like a burning lantern or something? Or...
Yeah, so there's like lanterns all over the place out there. It's not dark yet, though, so they're not lit.
Well, right, but I'm headed into... Oh, they're not lit. Okay, fine.
Right.
Um...
There are some inside, though, that you recall.
Okay. So I'm gonna take my own torch out and run into the mine.
Into the mine. Okay, I meant inside the manor, by the way.
Oh,
but you know what? There would be some in the mine, too. You're right.
Okay, I thought you sent that one that ran away into the mine, and then...
Sorry, what do you mean? What the tabaxi ran into the mine, and then this one human guard went into the mine.
And he said, "Follow me," right?
Yes. He said, "Come along, troop."
So I was following him.
Oh, okay. Cool. So you run inside, and yeah, there are definitely a couple torches in there that have been lit.
So I'll light my own torch off of one of those.
Okay. And this guy comes up behind you, and he just hiccups as he walks in. He just says, let's get those tabaxi.
And I'm gonna stop for a second, turn around and tell him, "You're too drunk to swing a weapon."
And
at these...
He just says, "No, I'm not." And he swings his weapon and kind of almost loses his balance. And then he rights himself and then walks past you. And he just says, "Here, kitties."
So I am going to...
And then suddenly there's this really cute lady in there. And she just says...
And there's a kitty. So, aside from the guard that's around it, is there any sort of sense of urgency from anybody that's around us?
Yeah, all the guards have gone sprinting into the cavern after you. The other two were going to too, or excuse me, after the tabaxi. The other two were going to too, but Brock told them to stay at your guys' posts, so that's what they're doing. Okay, and you run in, and you walk around for a minute in very dim light, and finally you run into this one guard who comes, and he's like bent over with his hands on his knees, and you recognize him as, you get a better look at him, and you're pretty sure he's the original guard you saw walk over this direction, the one that, looked suspicious, and he's out of breath, and his face is a little beat up, and he just says, they've barricaded themselves in there.
And where?
At the back of the mine. I don't know what they're up to.
Are you hurt?
I'll be all right. I think I need to go sit down, though.
Well, go on then. We'll take the lead.
All right then. And he heads through you guys and out the mine.
Okay.
Okay. What do? You gonna go try to find the back of the mine there?
Yeah. I'm gonna slowly, but.
Okay. All right. So you guys are making your way through the mine, and I'm gonna just fast forward a little bit here. You guys search for like the better part of an hour before you give up on anything. You've hit every dead end corridor. There's nothing. There's no barricade. There's no tabaxi. There's no one in the mine.
Okay. Well then I guess we'll head back out after said hour.
Okay.
Searching.
All
or
right.
I will anyway. I can't speak for both of us, but
I'm definitely following his lead as much as I can. When he searches an area, I'll search an area next to it, kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. So after a while, you guys finally come out of the mine, and it's really your first time being in there. There's other guards that follow the tabaxi in there sometimes, but yeah, you Brock and Garen, you wouldn't know, but it's your first. It's basically your first time going deep into the mine and exploring it. And it's not very deep yet, so you guys were able to basically travel the whole thing in about an hour. And yeah, you hit every dead end. There was no barricade; it was just rock everywhere.
okay.
And you come back out, and there's no one to be found out here. That other guard is nowhere to be found in sight. Maybe he went inside the manor. You don't know.
Are the two still at the door there?
So you guys walk around the corner, and sure enough, yes, the two guards are still at the post, and the one just says, "Oi, what'd you find? Where are they?"
I've got no clue. We didn't find anything.
"The tabaxi escaped! And then you just hear out of an open window up on the side up here that you didn't realize was open. You just hear, "What?" and stomping in the house as this dude comes out, and he swings those doors wide open. And he comes outside and he just says, "What happened to the tabaxi? Who escaped?" And he marches up through these guards, and he comes over and he recognizes the two of you, and he just says, and then he turns around and sees the other two guards at your posts. And he just says, "That's strike 3. You're out of here." And he's just staring at you guys, Matt. Do you guys do anything in the meantime, or are you just still listening?
What kind of physique does the guy appear to have? Like,
portly, very portly.
Okay.
Very lives a very lazy lifestyle.
Okay, and he's out here alone?
Yes.
Okay.
And then, as you guys are he's yelling at you. Do you do anything while he's yelling? Or you just stand there and...
I just stand there, kind of like stone face him.
Okay.
Like, I don't like this guy at all.
And
he may be my employer, but you know. As
you guys are standing there, you watch. You see behind him the two guards there. They're just kind of standing and watching, like they're kind of worried about like what's going down. And a tabaxi peeks around the corner in there. And let's see, put him.
Do I see it peek around the corner?
Yeah, you see it peek around the corner, but it happens so fast that you have no time to react as he stabs this guy here in the back, and then pushes him off the blade onto the ground, and the dude just chokes on his own blood as he lays on the face first on the ground. And then the tabaxi turns around and kind of runs over the archway of the porch here and drops down behind this other guard and stabs him before he can even react as well. And he pushes him on the ground. And then he comes running out into the parking lot, and he looks and he sees all 4 of you guards, and Darren, and he goes sprinting off this way. And Darren turns around, and he just says, "Jax!" And then he goes running after him.
Okay.
These two guys immediately start following and try to run after him with Darren.
I'm gonna follow, but not necessarily with the same intent.
Okay.
Like, keep up running, but
stay behind, like behind everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So they run clear across the parking lot, and the tabaxi disappears into the tree line, and Darren and these two guards also disappear into the tree line. And so I'll move you guys forward here.
Okay.
Token selector. Oh my gosh. Then move those guys into the tree line. Okay. And you just like kind of stop there, debating whether to go after them in the tree line or whatever. And after a minute, you kind of hear this buzzing sound off in the distance. Just zzz, zzz, zzz. And then it gets louder and louder. It's like getting super loud. And
do I
then
recognize it at all?
No, not at all. It's a very ominous foreign sound, and it's getting louder.
Would it be something that Illora would recognize?
Negative. Neither of you would recognize this, and Illora would not either.
Okay.
And then you just see several trees in a row just doof, 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 like get tossed up in the air. You just see this tree, roots and all, just kind of up in the air, and then another one, and this one's like cut in half, and a bunch of branches and splinters go flying off, and then a bunch of small splinters and leaves and stuff like go flying, like almost like a mulch comes flying like towards your direction, kind of scattered around the parking lot, and more trees just getting uprooted. And then suddenly you see this tabaxi come running back this way. He runs right by you guys, and then these two guards and Darren, I don't have a token for Darren, so just pretend he's with them, also come sprinting out of the tree line. Run! And they run past both of you. And let me grab the tokens here. Come on.
So yeah, I feel like that's definitely something I would have reacted to.
Okay.
And at least turned and started moving away from the tree line with the noise.
Okay.
And then as they run past, begin running that direction as well.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'm going to begin running towards our tent.
Towards your tent?
My tent.
Okay,
yes.
This way then. Okay. All right, so you start running towards your tent, and just next to the manor and next to the parking lot, there are 5 tents for 5 guards, basically. And you start running over that direction. Do you go into a specific tent?
I assume I would know which one is mine.
Yes. Yours is the one closest to the manor, and Garen's is the one just below yours.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go into my tent.
Okay, Garen, do you follow him to his tent?
Yes, if I follow him, try to get in his tent.
Okay, so Garen tries to walk into your tent, and that's, unusual. He normally would go to his own tent. Do you say something to him?
I just kind of look up and... Garen? Your effects are the tent behind me, brother.
Garen nods. Yes. I just wanted to say good night, and then gets up and starts walking.
You're going to bed. There's something chasing these guys out of the trees, and you guys just go to bed.
No, I was going to like collect things. No, my point was to run there to collect some things, some effects, because like at this point I feel like Brock is absolutely done working for a slaver.
Okay. Does Illora, do you go to a different tent?
Well, I say that and I duck out. I go towards the tent. You motion to.
Okay. All right. So you go inside, and you see a bunch of personal effects of Garen's. There is a picture that is on a little like kind of makeshift desk that's inside this tent, and it's made out of like these wooden crates that maybe used to hold fruit or some kind of food, turned upside down. And you see on there's like a little notebook. There is a folded up letter tucked under a lit candle, and there is a little what was I going to say? And that's it. There's just like a little letter, oh, that's right, the picture. And the picture is of you and Brock together. And you guys are kind of like in a sort of hug embrace. And then there's the little letter folded up, kind of tucked under the edge of the picture frame and the candle.
I'm going to carefully pick up the letter and open it up to read it.
Okay, you open it up, and as you open up this letter, you hear outside, this is a huge, like super loud grinding sound, followed by a bunch of sounds of like wagons getting just wrecked and destroyed. But you go ahead and read this letter. And you read the letter, and it says, "My dearest Garen." And then it goes on to just say, "I'm so happy to have you in my life. You mean everything to me. I'm glad that we can have what we have. It sucks that we're stuck out here in the middle of nowhere working for an asshole." Like, I won't go into like word for word, but like that's the sentiment basically. And then it just says, "Love, Brock" at the bottom. And just says basically an expression of just how happy he is to have you in his life.
All right.
A huge, loud, crashing sound shakes you out of your concentration on this letter.
Okay. I look around. Is there any kind of like storage for weapons or items or something?
So you have another one of these crates that's not turned upside down. That's kind of next to your little makeshift desk. And in there is basically a couple small daggers, but that's all that's in there because you have your equipment on you, basically, most of it.
So aside from like the picture and the candle, are there any other like personal effects sitting there?
Nothing else really. There is a little notebook, like I said. You could thumb through the notebook, although there might be some shit going on outside, just FYI.
All right, I'll hop on that railroad train.
So, Brock would have hastily gathered any personal effects he cared about. and then exited the tent and waited for Garen. And then I feel like at some point start calling for him. So
as soon as I hear him calling for me, I would grab the notebook and leave my tent.
Okay, so you grab the notebook, the picture, and the letter?
Yes.
Okay. What about the daggers? Did you grab those?
I did not grab the daggers.
Okay. So you leave your tent, and you guys both step out of your tents, and you look this direction toward the manor, which is right next to your tents, and you see a huge swath cut right through it. I'm going to draw that real fast just so you can see kind of what it looks like. I'll draw it in red. Let's see. There we go. And so it's just like this path cut right through it like this. And it's just completely wrecked. Like, there's a bunch of it is still standing. Most of it is still standing, but there's just this path, just this swath cut right through it following the path I drew. And you can hear on the far side of the manor just grinding up stuff.
So it's getting the sound is getting closer to us.
Well, it's farther away now. It seems like it's doing something on the other side where the mine entrance is.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna grab Brock's arm and start motioning towards the mines again.
Okay.
And I'm gonna. So Brock will embrace or grab Garen's arm as well and say, "You're absolutely right, brother. We do have a moral obligation to help those Tabaxi. But you do know that I may not come out alive from this."
This is like a video game. Garen doesn't say anything. He just gestures, and then you respond, "Yes, I agree."
And you must stay alive for your family back home. And then, Brock will, embrace in a full hug and kiss Garen on both cheeks.
Okay.
Well, first checking to, there's nobody around, right? That's been established.
No, they're all dealing with whatever the fuck is happening.
Right. Okay, cool. So, yeah. So, I guess in that case, since there's absolutely nobody around, it wouldn't even just be a kiss on the cheek.
Uh-oh. Did we lose you?
No, it's just the
okay. The last part of your sentence went, a kiss on the cheek.
So Brock would kiss Garen first on the cheeks and then a full kiss on the lips when this could be it kind of thing.
Okay.
So Illora is definitely taken off guard about being kissed because she's never been kissed before.
Oh.
She's a good kid. But she just kind of freezes and her eyes are darting around and she doesn't know what to do.
Okay. Do you react to that, Brock, or are you just focused on whatever it is you're about to do?
I'm just focused on, now we've got to get going into the mines to do what I feel is a moral obligation. Okay,
so just to make sure I'm reading this correctly, are you trying to tell Garen to stay behind while you go help deal with stuff?
No, I'm trying to say, we can go in together, but if shit gets hairy, that then at some point that has to be the understood.
Gotcha. Okay.
That I should have to stay behind to deal with it, and Garen should run.
Okay. All right. So which way do you guys go? Do you go around the manor to try and find it? Do you walk through the swath that's cut through it? Do you walk behind it?
I think I'd go behind. Well, assuming I would know that behind it made it all the way through.
It does. It's narrow, but you can walk through behind
Yeah,
the
I would
manor.
have with just 2 of us instead of a whole troop. I would have definitely gone behind it.
Okay. So as you get around, you peek around outside, you see this giant ass saw blade, like literally just like a huge saw blade, just spinning around, and it shreds through a couple tabaxi, and it shreds through the remaining guards, and then you watch as it shreds through one guard trying to get to Darren, and then Darren runs back inside the manor, and this thing just keeps chasing him. And then another tabaxi, a bunch of the tabaxi pop out of the trees, basically kind of frantically trying to rescue their friend. And hold on a second.
Looks like we've got a guard in there. Yeah, we've got a guard sprite in there.
That was intentional. The guard comes out with the tabaxi out of the tree line. And they're surprised. You're surprised to see them because you figured they were long gone since they seemed to have tricked you guys. And they come out, and the big machine stops chasing Darren and targets them. And the guard kind of goes sprinting off this way back into the tree line. But the rest of these tabaxi, along with this one tabaxi that stabbed the 2 guards, they all go running back into the mine. And you watch as this big saw blade rolls up to the front of the mine and then can't fit in the entrance. And it starts to just Transformers style, just completely change its appearance. And it folds itself down into this like really tall, like horse-sized, canine-looking mechanical creature of some kind. And it's just like as it trots inside. And then 2 more of those things come sprinting out from this direction, and they trot inside as well.
That sounds awful.
And you just hear one go objective as it walks inside behind the other 2.
Is there anything slightly familiar about this to Illora?
Negative.
And then Brock hasn't ever seen machines like this.
Nope, not at all.
So yeah, I think even with all of Brock's military training, he's just like frozen. You know, what in the actual fuck is going on?
Okay. And Illora is definitely less focused on trying to fit in and mimic to get to her point. And just she's totally astounded. It's just absolutely has no idea what's going on. Has even kind of forgotten a little bit about why she's here.
Okay. And then as you guys are trying to figure out what the fuck, you see another little dog thing come around the corner here. This mechanical dog. Except it's a little smaller. It's more like a big dog than a horse. And it comes around the corner, and one notable difference about it is that it is so all these machines that you've seen so far have like red running lights, like accenting their features, like in their joints, and then their eyes or whatever facial interface they have, depending on the shape. You know, there's just red. Well, this one's green, and it's kind of just looking around. And just kind of eyeing up the area, and then it looks over and catches you in its vision, and it starts trotting towards you, and it just says rescue subjects, and it walks up closer to you. Do you guys run away? Do you try to resist?
I feel like Brock would probably bring his axe to bear.
Okay. Subject defensive. Please remain calm. You are being rescued, it says.
Yeah, Brock definitely doesn't like the robotic voice thing and the metal dog.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, not swinging with the axe, but, like, poking. Like, stay the fuck away kind of thing.
Okay. And then it just says, defensive measures engaged. Please step away. Warning. Warning. Proximity too close. Hostile target.
Illora has her weapon put away, and she's basically trying to put both of her hands up and not get attacked by the creature thing.
Okay.
The metal creature.
All right, you step out with your hands up, and you see like this green beam kind of come out of its face and kind of scans you, and it just says, "Subject not hostile. Please come with me. You are being rescued." And then it turns around and starts trotting this way.
So I grab Brock's arm again and says, "Brother, I think we're being rescued. Let's follow the dog."
And I would trust. Well, I don't know, because Garen's been acting weird as far as Brock's concerned all day.
Yeah, react how you think Brock would react.
So Garen, have you been possessed? We don't need a magic dog to save us. We can go together.
Brock looks back towards where the dog is striding off for and sees if it notices that we haven't followed it yet.
So the dog does stop, turns around, and it just says, "Subjects, follow me. Specimens required for Solstice habitat population."
I pet. Oh wait, would I recognize? No, I don't know what Solstice is.
You do. Piratesh has talked about your world as being called Solstice.
And I remember that. Okay. So as soon as I hear the word solstice, I freeze, and I definitely remember or at least I try to remember what Piratesh said about that.
Okay, so you do remember that she referred to your area as Solstice, and somebody, I think it might have been Bunsen or Marina, asked what she was talking about, and then she clarified that your region was called the Solar Plains, but her kind refer to your entire world as Solstice.
Okay, so I say that phrase out loud when I hear it. I say solstice, and then I start dragging Brock. Like, we need to follow these. They're very important. I had a vision after my band meet. We have to go and follow these guys.
Brock, feel free to call if she's trying to convince you of things. You can call for checks.
Okay. How long have? So I know they've. How long have Brock and Garen been together, really?
At least 5 years in this troop.
So I feel like at this point Brock would go with, but like I'm gonna figure it out later because Garen is the most important thing. So
Illora thinks for a second and remembers a lot more about that incident with the computer and stuff. And she says, or he says, "Brother, I've seen Piratesh."
You don't know what that is, Brock?
Yeah. I'm coming with you to make sure you don't get hurt. I think somebody did something to your food. I really do.
I take that as, in my head, I'm like, that's probably as good as I'm going to be able to get. And I nod and smile at him, and then I start pulling him towards where the little metal dog is leading us.
So you guys do follow it then?
Yeah, Brock doesn't resist the pull at that point.
All right, so you walk for at least a few hours behind this dog through forest and across dirt roads and through fields, and finally you come to this huge clearing, like this huge field kind of in the middle of this forested area, and you see this rather large, sleek-looking vehicle of some kind. It's like a weird-looking structure, and you're able to gather, even though you don't know anything about what it is, that clearly it looks like it's not supposed to be there all the time. Like it's landed there or driven there or something. And these like wings on the side open up. Like these doors kind of open upward, like a Lamborghini style doors kind of open up and outward on the side of this thing. And this robot creature turns around and says, "Specimens enter transportation vehicle. You will seed the habitat."
So Brock is super weirded out by this thing.
We are saving you from the invaders of your world. And just for a moment, Brock, you notice this thing glitch out, and the green fades to red, and immediately its head turns and like looks at you and targets you like with its eyes, and then it just says objective, and then it like fizzles back to green, and then just says please step aboard.
Do I notice that as well?
Yeah, you both would have seen it happen.
Okay. I definitely stopped for a second and put my hand out to, stop Brock as well. And I turned to him and I say, Did you see that?
Yes.
Please do not be alarmed. Code invasion sequence will not last. Cannot maintain control.
So I turn to the robot voice that's speaking to us, and I say, is this Solstice?
Transportation to Solstice. Please come aboard. Time is running out.
And I ask him, I say, where is Solstice?
Solstice in Sector 341, Mark 234. Navigational vector imminent.
So I turn to Brock and I nod and I say, let's continue on.
And at this point, Brock has had such a weird fucking day. Because, like, probably for the first time in ever, he stood up to his boss not only once but 3 times. His not so hetero life mate is, being really weird, and now there's robots that are hunting. So yeah, at this point, he's just like, whatever. Okay, we're together. That's fine. Let's go.
Okay, so as you guys go to get aboard, that tabaxi that you heard referred to as Jax comes running up behind you guys and just sprinting across this field like fast, super fast. These tabaxi can run really fast. And he also is following one of these little dog things that is also glowing green. And it arrives at the ship, and then just like you guys, he's very skeptical and weirded out. But he gets aboard, and a couple more humans come aboard. One of them has armor, just like you guys, looks like a guard, but you don't recognize him. He gets aboard, and then a bunch of other humans and peasants and stuff get aboard, and they're all following similar robots that have led them here. And they all get aboard, and it just says, "Please stand clear of entrance." And then the doors like close shut.
But I don't see Darren come aboard, right?
No, Darren. You don't see Darren coming aboard. And the doors close, and you feel the whole place shake and rumble, and you can see out these windows. There's windows all along the sides of the whole of this ship. And you guys can see, and you watch down below as the 3 dogs fizzle out and turn red again. And they all, the 3 of them immediately combine together to form into this large sphere. And then this like pool cue shaped like metal arms like shoots out the back of it against the ground and launches this thing up into the air. And then 2 like little hooks come out of this sphere and they grab onto the bottom of the craft. And you guys hear it latch on, and then you just hear over like this sort of like intercom thing, and it just says evasive maneuvers implemented. And then the whole thing it just says please hold on to something sturdy. And then the whole thing starts to like jerk left and right, shaking, trying to get this thing off of it. And then you just hear this metal scraping against metal sound as the thing on the bottom of the ship lets go, and you watch out the window as it falls back down and splats on the ground into a bunch of debris. And then all that debris combines together again and starts forming into a giant tower, like a really thin pole that's extending as high as it can reach. And then you see a bunch of metal saw blade machines come out of the forest line, and they all meet this pole, and they're all stacking together and forming into this giant tower. But it doesn't work as you guys are lifted off into orbit. And as you guys get up into orbit, you see for the first time, Illora, ever, what a planet. But Illora has no idea what that is. And you see of the void of stars. But did you see that at the bottom of that pit? Were you down at the bottom of that pit?
I know that I know of the Void of Stars, but I can't remember if it was because I saw it or if I...
So
no, I think we all went down there, didn't we?
I don't think so. I think Marina described it.
That's probably what it was, yeah.
So you recognize from Marina's description a black void dotted with light. And you recall this description, and you're looking out, and that's exactly what you see. Space, basically, a black void with dotted light. And you've never seen nighttime before. So it's even more spectacular. And you can see the surface of this planet as it shrinks away, and you see that it's a sphere, which you never would have guessed from your perspective on the surface. But also floating around this planet are these dark ships with like red hues on them, and they look very similar to the machines. And two of these ships collide against each other, and debris shoots out from them, but the debris rapidly comes back together as this thing starts constructing itself into a ship, basically. But before you can figure out what its final shape is going to be, everything disappears from view as you basically see a Star Trek warp field as all the stars kind of smear into these strings of light as you look out the window. And that's the end of the session.
Oh, wow.
Sorry if it felt a little on rails. It is a memory, but you did have more influence than you probably realize, which you will find out about.
That was pretty cool.
I hope so.
I'm sorry that I couldn't get my Fantasy Grounds thing going, but
it's all good.
I really liked playing by the
I knew it was going to be on rails, but that was fine.
All right, well, let's let everybody on the stream go. Thanks for watching episodes 13.6 of Solstice. We will see you guys tomorrow night for finally a fresh episode 14 of Solstice. We may be doing some Bunsen campaign tomorrow. We have a new campaign called Arcana, which I'll introduce to everybody. Or it might be Sunday, we'll see. But I'm really excited for this campaign. It's something so different than I've ever seen anyone ever do. So it's gonna kind of unique. It should be pretty fun. Basically, just the quick and dirty of it is that Bunsen is the only player in the campaign. He built a character, and then we built a world around him. And I've consulted with everyone else in our Discord for ideas and stuff like that. And we came up with some pretty cool stuff. And we're going to have some other people playing some NPCs and stuff, hopefully. I'm sure Dan will want to, at least.
Absolutely. I love playing NPCs.
Nice. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.